Hello there and welcome. It's time for round 4 of the Star Wars Shatterpoint Grand Tournament at the Evergreen Open. This round, the game I recorded is between Peta and Paul, and Paul will be on the right with the Spectre list, where Alice has replaced Sabine, and Rebel Commandos have replaced Zeb. So the top squad, Kanan, Ezra, Chopper, seems to be a very common squad. We've seen that a couple times, and looking at the Longshanks for the event, there were quite a few people with that squad. Callus thrown in there sometimes, often the Rebel Commandos, and the 8-point primary with Kanan has been probably the most common thing that is changed from list to list. So this time it's going to be Hera, and so that means they'll be bringing 6 Force with them. And this is going to be against the Empire. So Iden and Vader. In this case, Vader won, the Jedi Hunter. And so he, of course, can add allow his team to add dice to their melee attacks for 2 damage. And they've gone all scouts on this. So Iden's box with the all the named characters in that squad, and then the ISF are going to be replacing the stormtroopers under Vader. And of course, rounding that out will be Stormtrooper Sergeant, being the 3-cost secondary. And so we actually end up with a bit of a mirror in the sense of bodies and deployment, because Del Mico is a 1-character support, Chopper is a 1-character support, then the Rebel Commandos get to deploy within 3 of their associated primary, while the ISF on the other side get to deploy within 3. So interesting that kind of, they ended up mirroring each other in that sense. And so really leaning into the scouts, making sure that everyone is going to be getting their extra hit from Gideon on all of their attacks. So they are playing on shifting priorities. It looks like they haven't put the side points active, but it'll be going down the middle. So it should be the plus sign, and Paul is going first, and I believe he is picking Kanan first. Yeah, Kanan first. And if he's in, where is he? Is there? I can't see. Oh, maybe I can move over. Oh, yeah, can't see which stance he is in. It looks like he's deciding which who to give the dash to. So he's picking himself. And since he is a Spectre, then he gets to do a second dash. And gonna do a move to cap that middle point. See if he is in range of doing a ranged attack onto those ISF. is in range. I'm going to throw 7 dice at the ISF, which is, of course, the danger of the forward deployment. So getting 4 steps, which will be 7 damage. And so he's going to do push, pin, and reposition. Sounds like he only counted out 5 damage there. It should be 7. Missed the damage off that last spot there. So Peta is getting Del Miko. So Del Miko has the trick shot, same as secondary crosshair, where you can choose a unit in a line of sight, give it damage, and remove its hunkers. Now he might actually be the guy behind the tree. So, but might be able to see the rebel commandos. Right now, there's checking if the ISF should have had a hunker, but I think it's just the rebel commandos that get that hunker on deployment. Yeah, from camouflage. Del Miko is going to take a move action. Advance. And it looks like that, yeah, that's going to get him to the Ingress point for that objective on the right, or on the bottom middle for us. And then I'm going to do covert operations for the dash. And if he, oh yeah, he'll be within 4 of those rebel commandos for sure to get his focus action and sharpshooter 1. He also already has sharpshooter 2. And his target does not benefit from cover, so the hunker that the rebel commandos have won't matter. So be rolling 9 dice for this shot. Three will be getting through, and that will do either 3 or 4 damage. Nope, wrong one. 5. Oh yeah, getting a shove off of his expertise. Either 4 or 5 damage. Disarm. Looks like they're getting 6 damage. I'm not sure how that's happening. But just the one condition. So it looks like 5 damage and the disarm. Getting the Shatterpoint on Paul's side. Oh yes, so that will get Peta 2 points on that. So Ezra didn't get to move up the board off of Kanan because he did the 2 dashes, and then once he did his move action, he wasn't within 2 in order to give Ezra the jump there. So that would be the common thing to do, I think, would be give Ezra the dash and also dash and then move, and you're still within 2. Might mean you need the force jump off of, or no, Keenan does not have the force jump. But Ezra will get, he's taking his move action, doing a take cover. I'll easily get him in range of that other side point. So that'd be 3 for Paul. And now Peta is getting his Shatterpoint. So he's going to Shatterpoint the Imperial Special Forces. When they activate, they remove a damage and a condition. Gonna spend a force for covert operations. Get to that Ingress point. Start moving towards Ezra, potentially. Or just move straight up, stay on the ground. Yeah, straight on the ground and taking some shots into Kanan, I think. So focus in sharpshooter, so that'll be 8 dice. Kanan does have deflect, so if he rolls a bail, can do 2 damage back. So interestingly, if he had taken the 7 damage earlier, healed 1 off, he'd be at 6, and then this deflect for 2 damage would have wounded them. They'll be sitting at 6. Lots of crits being rolled, it looks like. Yeah, 4, so 5 damage, pin strain. And Keenan getting a dash of his expertise, which will get rid of the pin for him. The other one's going to shoot Keenan as well. So that's 5 damage, so halfway there. So right, they almost did deflect a second time, but you can only do that once per turn, being a reactive ability. Sounds like 2 damage and pin off of that one. So he'll be sitting at 8 damage, pinned and strained. They're going to take their move action, go towards Ezra, and they will have to put both bodies on that point in order to take it from him. In the end, they will be getting 2 points. Looks like maybe they can't sit there properly between the, I guess, the tree and the rock. So, gonna just ingress the other one up, maybe dash him on later. Chopper being picked next. He is on Ezra's side, so he could help body up that point. Maybe, yeah, probably could get the wound on the ISF there. Only need 2 damage left. So ranged attack, only range 3, but decent expertise. Well, good expertise, I'd say. Very reminiscent of those Inquisitor sports. So he's getting 2 down the tree. He can do 2 damage and a shove. Shove the one that's up back. Everything's falling all over the place. It's fine. Totally fine. And so Chopper will get the wound. Momentum, and then there's something else on wounding, isn't there? Yeah, when he wounds an enemy unit, if someone within 2, if they're a Spectre, they can reposition. So we could give Ezra, I don't know if Ezra's actually within 2. Well, he could choose himself. Yeah, because it's allied, not another. So he could give himself a reposition off of that, which would get him onto the point. Looks like Iden is getting to go now for Paul. But Peta got 3 points on that turn, as well as the wound. Now, who's left within 4 of Iden? I guess Gideon would be. So she'll give out dash there. Take a dash herself. Looking for the wound on Kanan. Getting a hit from ISF being within 5. So doing deflect for 2 damage onto Iden. So getting 8 damage. How's that happening? He's on full burst fire. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, he's already pinned. So yeah, 8 damage. Get the wound. Gonna do the follow-up. So he's gonna get a momentum. Gonna heal. Oh, it was a full tree, so he gets the heal and 2 heals and reposition. And then a heal. Yeah, you can give out a disarm or strain to someone within 4. Yeah, no one's within 4. It's gonna do the reposition. Oh yeah, reposition comes from the attack. So then he can, now someone's within 4 to disarm or strain. Also gets a heal and dash. But standing below with in contesting range of that middle objective, Kanan is going to do his revenge attack. So because he is Rebel, Alliance, and Spectre, it's heal 2, which doesn't matter, but also could jump. Then make a 5 dice attack. Ian's getting 3 for 5 damage. Either, yeah, I'm gonna do 2 shoves so that he doesn't control that objective. However, Iden does still have an action left, so I assume this will be a move action in order to get back in range at that point. But between deflect and his revenge attack, he has done 7 out of 9 damage to Iden on her turn, so that's pretty significant there. Got her pretty close to wounded. She'll do the take cover action. Looks like she's getting hunker, and we'll get the 3 points. Ezra will go next. He is kind of needing to stay there. Oh, no, that's not true. ISF are wounded. So he could jump over to the middle and flip that point back. He could also probably get over to that back point that's been left vacant. However, that puts him pretty close range with Vader. So he would probably just die next turn anyway. So probably better to keep the fight in the middle. Even though it's always tempting to go for those back points when there's an opportunity. He's also going to move in an attempt to wound Iden. One crit getting through. However, he can do the 2 damage, I think. Nope, doing a damage and a shove. So he got 2 steps for the damage. Oh yeah, he's not getting the wound, it sounds like. Just doing 1 damage and the shove. Maybe I didn't need a 3. I guess, yeah, he had some heals there. Either 2 or 3. So, right, so, yeah. So he wasn't within 2 of being wounded. But Ezra's gonna break that tie anyway. And we'll get 3 as well. Stormtrooper Sergeant is going to go next for Peta and give a Galactic Empire supporting unit a advance. The ISFs are wounded. Delmico is not, but the advance is not really going to get him anywhere. I mean, he could go for the back point if it's up on the tree. You try to steal that being at a different elevation. Or, yeah, go towards the middle. And if he's close enough to contest, then that would flip that point 2-1 with Iden and Mikos being in range. Which I'm sure or hoping he's going to check in a second. I mean, he's right up against the roots, so probably. Take an advance. Is he going to go straight for that vacant point that Ezra left, or no, he's going to move into the middle, see what kind of damage he can do. Yeah, gonna shoot at Ezra, even though Ezra doesn't have any damage on him yet, but maybe looking to get a shove. Get a crit and pin through from his expertise. Getting 3 steps for 3 damage, 3 heals, and a shove. Move him off the point. More difficult to take back. Take the follow up. And yeah, do the heals off of. Oh, just gonna do the 1 heal, I guess. He's gonna do the reposition over to that top point and take that for 4 points. Rebel Commando is being pulled next for Paul. So they can definitely take that bottom middle point. However, it would take the 2 of them to be able to flip that center objective, because they would need to either shove or wound one of them, and um, and then outbody it 2-1. Right, so they're disarmed, so he doesn't get his expertise off of that. So getting 3 steps. So 2 damage, pin, and 2 pushes. Is this on? Oh, okay, so the first attack was on Stormtrooper Sergeant. So I'm gonna try to push him off of that point. Pushing him back around that tree. But hasn't quite gotten him off of contesting range, so not going to be able to flip that point. The other one, going to shoot at Delmico. It's the only one in range. Get some damage on him. One on the tree is going to be pin damage. Definitely getting lots of pins out in this game. Commando's going to do their commando doctrine. Get on those, centered on those points, and but only flip one of them, so that'll be 2 points, and they'll both get a momentum. Gideon Hask going next. You could probably go after that bottom point that one rebel commando is on. He's got good access to shoves. Sounds like he's going to loan with the Empire Delmico, which will give him a reposition, and he will suffer 2 damage. That's going to be an attempt to go for the back point. Maybe it's been completely abandoned now that those rebel commandos have gone. He's sounds like, looks like he's maybe considering that, but just going to go with the dash from covert operations. Do this attack first. Gonna get a hit because Delmico is within 5 of the commando. Three expertise will turn a block to a fail. Add a damage. The crit. 2 getting through. Could do a total of 5 damage. Or oh, they're already at 6, so yeah, he could just do, well, yeah, he can do 2 damage and the 2 shoves. Get the wound and push them off the point, which will get him a momentum. He can follow up, which will maybe get him there. Shove them off. Follow up to get on the point. Kanan will do his 2 heals and jump potentially, but no 5 dice attack, so they aren't Spectre. He could He could jump out of the way for someone to allow someone else to get up there on his turn. But Gideon throwing a condition out somewhere, either disarm or strain from Iden's identity. Can also get a heal and dash, but I don't think he needs it. Oh, so he is taking the 5 dice attack, even though that should just be for specters. Maybe looking to shove Stormtrooper Sergeant off of the point. So 3 damage and shove. Yeah. Looks like he's moving the Stormtrooper Sergeant. And so that'll actually flip a point for Paul. So Gideon's going to hunker for his final action. Flip that. So getting 3 instead of 4 on that. Oh, it is Sabine. Okay. Not sure why I still have Callus in there. There we are. So she will be able to give a Rebel Alliance character a dash, and if it's Spectre, they will get a hunker. Looking at an advance on Ezra. Complaining about the table. Fair. So I can dash Ezra into contesting range, but it's still 2-1, so we wouldn't break. It's not a tie he can break. However, moving him in and then Sabine also onto that point would be a tie for him to break. Looking at Chopper instead. Assuming that it's the dash, like Kanan's ability. Nope, not Kanan's ability. Hera's ability. For it being a Spectre. So that Sabine's gonna move. Do 5 dice, 5 attack dice. On the objective nearby, they suffer damage for each expertise, and then she gets to jump. Then do an attack. Three expertise for crit hit. Two steps, get 3 damage and a shove. The shove isn't going to get Gideon off, so I'm going to do 3 damage and strain instead. Get 2 points and a momentum for it still being on Peta's side. Imperial Special Forces going next, so they will wake up and they could definitely outbody the Rebel Commando on that point nearby before he needs to finish this struggle. The guy on the ground is still in contesting range. Oh, realizing that it's only a dash from Sabine, so pulling Ezra back. Rebel Commandos. They were wounded. When did that happen? Paul is taking less. I think Peta may have gotten 1 more point there as well. Because I think, yeah, Gideon wounded the commandos. So yeah, you would have gotten that point, but that wouldn't have finished the struggle anyway. So not going to have a huge effect, luckily. So just looking to get some damage out while he is guaranteed to get the struggle. So that was on Ezra. He will get the wound. So gonna give Chopper a strain, I think. Or is it Kanan? Okay, he's putting a strain on Kanan. I mean, it's not gonna matter too much because he will remove the condition from anyone basically there. Himself, Chopper, Ezra. He's going to jump up and attack the ISF that is above. So getting 3 damage and shove. Bumping into the ladder, following up. So that was just the first attack. So He can throw an attack into Chopper as well. Really just kind of pushing through on the wounds anyway, even though Keenan's getting the revenge triggers. So he's now booted Keenan, Ezra, and the Rebel Commandos. So that's definitely going to have an impact on Paul's force economy going into the second struggle. So Chopper has protection, immunity to pin, and disarm. So going to be not get the pin on that. So he's also getting a reposition from his expertise. He's going to back up the ingress point onto that back objective top corner. Get ready for next struggle, because that will be struggle 1 for Peta. So getting kind of the up and down arrows. Pretty much automatically going to take the one that gives him 2 back objectives. It's a good idea given that he just moved Chopper, and Hera will be coming up next, I believe. And then no one's on Peta's back objective currently. Otherwise, Vader would be close to it. And he's about to go next. Now, of course, the priority is the back point, because why would the first roll favor person that just lost struggle 1? But Hera is going to go, and we'll definitely be able to take that back point. Can try to move some people around. Maybe, I'd say probably Sabine. Move her towards the back point. Okay, gonna do, thinking of Kanan the dash down that ingress point towards the back. She's going to move onto the back point, and I wonder if we'll be doing, we will not stand down to wake up Kanan, so that he gets the back point for her. Shoot Delmico. I'm going to shoot at Gideon instead. And she's on the Spread a Little Lake side. Okay, 2 steps. Three damage and pin. Getting through on that. Yeah, doing 2 force. Wake up Kanan. Could also give them a reposition. So I'm going to put him right on the point. Get ready for Vader to activate and trying to take that back. Now, given my discussion with Jeff on the commentary on the final video that the final on the final round, that video, he did kind of mention that it's possible that getting 4 points in struggle 2 makes it so that your opponent just kind of realizes that they're losing struggle 2, and maybe kind of pushes them into not really trying to get struggle 2, just kind of letting you have it and focusing on just getting themselves ready for struggle 3. And if it's over quickly, then maybe you also haven't had time to be positioning for struggle 3 or waking up your other units, stuff like that. But we'll see how this works out. So Vader's going to walk up, take 2 damage for the 3 extra dice on this attack on Keenan. He is in Dark Rage, so he's getting the full tree, which will be for 9, and he gets +2, yes, from Vader's Fury. So that would be 11. So that will be a one-shot on Kanan, which will make his next activation not super fun. Vader gets 2 shoves through. Get the wound. That point, I don't think it's the priority point, but I'll take that one. Oh, is it 2 shoves through or 3? Oh yeah, 3 on the end. Keenan is going to get the jump and 5 dice attack. Get some damage back on Vader. Probably not going to be able to get him off that point, but we'll see. He's trying to line things up. See if there's an angle for those 2 shoves to get him off. Looking at... Oh, okay. He's going to be shooting Gideon, try to work on wounding him. He thinks he needs 3 shoves to get him off that point, which is possible given that he just did 3 follow-ups to get where he is now. 5 damage push and pin. Just gonna get the wound there on Gideon. Oops. I think he got a heal off his expertise. Just gonna get rid of the pin. He does get a dash and 5 dice attack on Kanan if he wants it. But Kanan is already wounded. So priority is Vader's objective. Oh yes, Peta will get 1 point and a momentum for being on Paul's side still. Priority is the back point. He would need to get that back point in order to finish the struggle this turn. Sabine is going next, and we'll give out a dash to Ezra. She's up by Gideon. So we're gonna advance down by Kanan. Looking to jump onto that point Vader's on. He'll get the focus, or she'll get the focus from the being within 2 of Kanan, the Spectre character. Just going to do a focus action, shoot at Vader. She has sharpshooter 2, so I'll give her 9, and possibly looking to do the active ability afterwards if needed to get that jump. Three steps. That'll get 4 or 5 damage. Doesn't seem like that'll be enough to push him off the point. If he takes the 2 shoves even. Gonna do the 3 damage and strain, and then get the active ability for free. So roll 5 dice. The expertise will turn into damage. Nothing, but you will get the jump onto that point. If yeah, using the Ingress point, because it looks like the angle wasn't quite going to get him into contesting range either. And so yeah, just getting the 2 objectives. Priority will be Harris Point. And Peta is getting his Shatterpoint. Now, really want that for struggle 3, since I don't think he's going to be able to flip this struggle. He can delay it, but I don't. Getting both of those back points, or like even, I mean, he could get one of them, but he really would need to swing the struggle back his way in order to get it. I would be tempted for sure to shuffle that back in. Um, let Paul take the struggle next turn, and then use the Shatterpoint to be to have a strong start to struggle 3. But he is going to go with Del Mico, looks like. Take a recover action for the get rid of the pin. Do covert operations for the dash, sharpshooter, and do an attack on Chopper. Like he's getting a nope, three going through. Should be 5 damage and disarm, down to 4 from protection. And that will be enough to wound Chopper. Yeah, because he's got 8 health. So, another momentum. Gets a dash off of Iden's ability. Gonna give Chopper the strain. Or Ezra. Gets to heal twice, which he can use on Sabine. And jump, then do a 5 dice attack. Jump back over to the middle. Attack Vader with the 5 dice attack. Getting 2 steps for 3 damage and a shove. So now maybe Vader will be in able to be shoved off that point with 2 shoves. So not getting in range of that point, I think. So just the one point for Peta. And so going to be the fail, which is Chopper's objective. Paul getting his Shatterpoint, which, yeah, he's going to shuffle back in, getting the commandos instead. Probably attempt to wound someone. Iden's in range. Could maybe try on Delmico. Gonna move to get ready for next struggle. Take a shot at the Stormtrooper Sergeant. It's with Commando Doctrine, so getting the focus as well. Pin damage, pin 3 damage, disarm, and a shove, but the pin will become another damage. The other one's going to the other one doesn't really have a target because Gideon's wounded. I mean, he could try to shove him off in case that point is active. Struggle 3. But just going to pass on that attack and get struggle 2. Alright, so struggle 3 is Peta's choice, and the center is going to be active for sure. So the choice basically is between the one Chopper is on but wounded. Sabine is on the other one, the left, bottom left, and then he's got Vader on one, that middle one on his side, and I don't think anyone's on the middle on the other side, but I think it was Gideon that, or no, Delmico was pretty close in between Chopper and that other one. So probably keep the one that Vader's on because he's been difficult to remove. Yeah, and then center and the one Chopper's on, even though Chopper's there, but he's wounded. If you can give Del a dash, then he can be claiming that point. The center, is Ezra wounded? Yeah, Ezra's wounded. So I think Iden's still in contesting range to be getting that one as well. So priority is the one that Vader's on. Now that one is tied. Or no, Caden. Yes, Keenan is he injured? I think, yeah, Vader just wounded him again. He did that. I think he one-shot him. So yeah, he'll be starting with 2, I think. He's getting the ISFs, who I think are in range to go get that last one. So that would be a big turn, big start to struggle 3. Looking to see if one of them can get up on the center to really solidify that point. And going towards the back point the chopper's on. Looking at shots on the Rebel Commandos. Gonna get an extra hit from Delmico being within 5 there. Getting 4 steps for 6 damage and pin. Paul got a reposition on his tree, so that'll get rid of the pin. The other one will have to take a shot the other way. I think it might be the other Rebel Commando up there, but doesn't get the other hit because there isn't another. I don't think there are no Gideons over there. So that second shot is going to get the wound. So Peta getting a momentum. Kanan's going to get his revenge trigger, the 2 heals and jump, and see if they notice that he shouldn't be getting the 5 dice attack. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna do it. Still working on Vader. So just getting 1 step through for 2 damage. Peta's going to spend 2 force on covert operations to get the dash, and he'll be able to get all 4 points off of this. That definitely puts Paul in a difficult situation, especially with half of his team wounded. So he did. The priority is where Chopper and the ISF are on the top left, top right. And because he shuffled his Shatterpoint back in, that was a good choice to, because now he's gotten it and can activate Chopper to wake him up. And now he just needs to push the ISF out of range there. And he does throw 8 dice in melee. Let's see, focused for 9 even. Alright, so he didn't focus. He's pushed him off, pushed off the ISF, and then can just do a climb because they're no longer engaged and get up to the proper elevation for that point. So that'll get him 2 points and a momentum. For it being on Peta's side still. Now Iden is going to go for Peta. And so who's all within 4? The ISF, maybe Del Mico. Yeah, probably Del Mico's in 4. And then she can also get a dash. Probably doesn't want to move that ISF that's already on the middle point though. Del Mico is going to ingress up. There's the call out for mission critical. Iden's taking her dash kind of towards the center, I guess. Maybe looking to get a wound on Sabine. Or no, just trying to help body up that back point that Vader's on. So. So Sabine is strained. 8 health and protection. So Iden did get, I think, 5 or 6 um, for the one shot there, and so that will mean a wound, 1 for mission critical, and then the priority is the middle objective. So he's getting 3 points, and that will end the game. Even if Kanan were to do a shot and wound Iden or something like that, it doesn't really matter. She doesn't need to be counted for control anywhere. So the Empire and a very high wound, high aggro list with Iden and Darth Vader Jedi Hunter was able to push through Spectre Cell and their revenge triggers. Definitely seemed like the fact that Kanan got up on a point early, which he was hard to remove from, but because of that, he didn't really want to jump away from the point, so he wasn't really getting free movement from the wounds on his allies. Also, with him getting wounded early because he was out in the middle early, he also wasn't able to have a huge effect on the board from jumping around and retying up points and not allowing them to be flipped. So it definitely, even though he got more attacks off than he should on those revenge triggers, he put out some damage, some shoves, but with everything else around him kind of getting wounded, and he himself being wounded, it felt like he wasn't able to have a huge impact on the game. Vader, I think there was once maybe that someone else took 2 damage to use his melee dice. He did it, but he mainly just sat at the back and was hard to move off that point. So, I mean, all that was needed from him, but sometimes wonder maybe if the other Vader fits into kind of the Galactic Empire lists more, since if he gets a wound, then he can be dashing other people around, but this list definitely wasn't short on movement, so having this Vader in there did definitely seem okay. So hopefully that you enjoyed this video. That was round 4 of the Evergreen Open, so that means the next one will be our top 8 cut, so stay tuned for that.